#1 cable news show for 15 years and counting.
Thanks for staying with us. Bill O'Reilly in the Military segment tonight. Charges that ESPN, the sports network, is mixing liberal politics with its presentation. Recently, conservative sportscaster Curt was fired for talking about political things. Schilling then said this about ESPN.
They sent out memos about, hey, listen, we want our sports people and our talent to stick to sports and stay away from politics and all the other stuff. And the next day, Stephen A. Smith tells the world that Robert Griffin can't play quarterback for the Redskins because he's black, not because he sucks, was because he sucked. And then you've got Levitard, and you've got, Tony Kornheiser comparing the Tea Party to ISIS. And so what I think the memo meant to say was, if you're not liberal and you're not a Democrat, do not stray from sports.
Joining us up in Santa Barbara, Dennis Miller, who once provided color commentary on Monday Night Football. So does Schilling have a point, Miller?
First off, I want to apologize for my hair today. I accidentally touched the fence over at the T-Rex habitat, and you can see things are completely out of control. Well, ESPN devalued the Schilling because while they knew he was a great righty, they had no idea he was a great righty. And he's got to remember, in the world of sports, bloody sock puppets are in charge of the programming. So he's got to use his head over there. Now, they had a book out years ago called Those Guys Have All the Fun About ESPN. It didn't reflect well. They had a lot of human resource problems. So they're a little reactionary over there now about keeping everybody in line because their track record's a little weird. It's like Germany. They're always the first people to let, the refugees in untethered because they've got such a crap track record. They're trying to level their karma. So he's got to watch it over there at ESPN. But they've gotten to the point now over there where it's just gotten silly. They have a great documentary series called 30 for 30. They did one on the Yanks and the Red Sox fighting each other. Game 6, 2004 ALCS. You remember they've down 3-0, come back and win 4-0. The Red Sox do. And in Game 6, Schilling pitches with a tendon in his foot. It's bleeding, and they've cut that out of the footage now. Yeah, it's like ESPN ORTH Korea is what it's turning into over there.
Well, I don't think
Schilling pit.
If you look at their mainline guys, most of them are left-wingers, and there's no doubt about it. Now,
Southpaws, Billy.
Southpaws. When you were doing Monday Night Football, all right, you were with Al Michaels. Was there anybody else in the booth with you?
Yeah, Fauci. Come on.
Dan Fouts. Okay. Fouts, a pure football player. I've never heard him say anything political. And Michaels, he just calls the game. I mean, I never started. Were you told, because you reference all kinds of things?
No.
You weren't told anything?
Ohlmeyer never told me anything. I do know that Schilling, at this point, he touched the third rail in American politics with, I guess he was sending out tweets about the North Carolina,
the North Carolina bathroom transgender thing.
Well, listen, the people have come down hard on him for that. I saw a Superior Court judge down there ruled that he can, and I have the official language here, he's no longer allowed to wee-wee anymore. That's how tough that whole thing is. So you got to pick your shots. At some point, I admire Schilling for speaking his mind. I also knew he'd get whacked.
Yeah.
He lived the whack guy.
Did you ever do any political humor or anything like that when you're on Monday night?
I can't remember. I'm still in therapy, Bill.
Okay. All right. Now, this was missed by all major news organizations except for the Factor. Ready?
What?
President Obama has signed the National Bison Legacy Act into law, making the bison the USA's first national mammal. I thought the first national mammal was Free Willy, but no, it's the bison, Miller.
Well, Free Willy is back to the show. No. Listen, everybody knows the story here. Joe Biden sent the bald eagle to his plugs guy, and they made a complete mess of it. The eagle looks like hell now, looks like a giant squid attacked its head. So they had to come in with a replacement creature, and Obama went with the bison, which, by the way, isn't that the buffalo? Why does he always have to pronounce something different?
I think there's some difference.
Wait, Billy, I got a joke. Just let me get it out. Don't dive on this joke. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
It was a good, it's gone.
No,
It was a
such a
moment.
bad
It
guy.
was about him saying bison instead of buffalo, like he says ISO instead of ISIS. He's always calling it something else so he can look a little smarter than the rest of us. Now listen, my thought for the national mammal, and I know I've gone outside the box here, but why not, Billy? I asked for a picture of it. This should be our national mammal, right here. Where's the picture? I can't even see it.
It's
Is it
there.
up? The Putin. Now let me tell you something about the Putin meat, Billy. It marbles nicely. You get a good braise on it for around 8 hours, and you have a KGB Ossobuco later in the day. And you drink it with a nice red wine. Of course, red wine. What else goes with communism? Are they communists? All right, I got all my jokes out.
That was it.
Go ahead.
All right, now
Go
I want
ahead.
people to email Miller about the difference between a bison and a buffalo. So I know there is one.